Throughout modern history, it was believed the nuclear era de facto would last 2 days, from Hiroshima to Nagasaki. When the 5 member nations of the Security Council were confirmed to have nuclear arsenals, it was assumed they would never be used. The domino effect was simply too overwhelming. Deterrence was our global shield.
Deterrence is a 1999 political drama thriller directed by Rod Lurie that would gain a cult following due to its topical content and historical references. Taking place in the then-future year of 2008, several people occupy a diner in the remote town of Aztec, Colorado, outside of Colorado Springs. A massive blizzard cripples the town with heavy snow and whiteout conditions, keeping many of the patrons inside of the diner. These include married couple Taylor and Lizzie Woods, played by Michael Mantell and Catherine Morris, Ralph, played by Sean Astin, waitress Katie, played by Clotilde Hero, and the owner and cook Harvey, played by Baja Jola. As the patrons wait out the weather, news coverage shows that the Super Tuesday presidential primaries are taking place in the United States. The current president of the United States is Walter Emerson, played by Kevin Pollak. Emerson, formerly an appointed vice president who ascended to the presidency just 4 months earlier upon the death of his predecessor, is not very well known by most Americans and is seeking his party's presidential nomination.
President Emerson may find himself as the first non-elected incumbent to win his party's nomination since Gerald Ford in 1976.
The blizzard forces the president and his entourage into the diner. Joining the president is his best friend and White House Chief of Staff Marshall Thompson, played by Timothy Hutton, National Security Advisor Gail Redford, played by Cheryl Lee Ralph, his Secret Service protection detail, and a television news crew documenting his campaign.
Hi, please, Walt Emerson.
No kidding.
Oh my God! Wow. Oh, bah, c'est vraiment le président des États-Unis, ça, alors. Harvey, I'm really so excited.
Please tell me you're old enough to vote. What is your name?
Katie.
Suppose you tell me about the specialty de la maison.
Oh, we've got a great chicken Popeye and then chicken croquette and then...
Mr. President, I think a second opinion's in order here.
Please.
Well, the chili burger's Harv's specialty. He's a monster at it. I call it my usual.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
My pleasure.
Chili burger, huh?
Absolutely.
Fine, then. Let's see what this fellow's raving about. Chili burger it is.
Would your friends like something?
Yes. Order up, everybody, please.
What did you say your name was?
Katie.
Katie. Love a cup of Joe?
Sure.
Coffee all around? Ma'am?
Nothing,
We're gonna
thanks.
be here a spell. There's a whole lot of white stuff between here and Air Force One. It's a good thing I got my campaigning in.
Absolutely.
I didn't vote.
Katie, could have used you out there today.
I'm sure you did fine.
That's what they're telling me, but perhaps your vote could have taken me from victory to mandate.
The president introduces himself to the patrons while watching election coverage on the news, hosted by anchor Gerald Irvin, played by Mark Thompson.
We are ready to project a winner in the Colorado primary. With all precincts having reported, IBS is projecting that President Walter Emerson will
There it
handily
is.
win the
Casper the
primary with
fucking
36.8%
All right, we got to pick by the balls. Here's what we got to do. We call him up, right? We tell him the deal's still on, but he has to withdraw by noon tomorrow. Otherwise, no deal. Adios. He's got no maneuvering room whatsoever to even change the platform. So we make him feel like he's got a little wriggle room, right? Cut him off at the knees, make him think he can walk.
Yeah, but why don't we just proceed ahead? We're going to win anyways. Let's just...
No, he's at the Hyatt. I'm going to call him right now. Right?
Suggesting quite popular.
If he's cozy in that hotel room with the blonde, he's a lot wiser than I.
Many people view Emerson as not presidential. He's very vice presidential, very second banana.
His experience in foreign posts has certainly been strong. He boasts probably one of the best resumes since George Bush.
True, but he doesn't have the physical bearing of a president.
Suddenly, there is breaking news out of the Middle East. Iraqi President Uday Hussein has invaded the nation of Kuwait. Word also comes that Iraqi troops have killed a United Nations peacekeeping mission staffed mostly by United States Armed Forces and medical personnel.
Don, suppose you tell me why I'm hearing about the start of World War III on the television.
That may be overstating it a bit, sir.
Mr. Secretary, I may only be holding this office for 4 months, but the President selected me his successor because of my unilateral understanding of foreign affairs. Hell, I deputy chair the National Security Council. So why don't we forego the patronizing crap and have you explain to your commander-in-chief why he's hearing about this on IBS?
We're getting the pieces together, sir.
The SOB overran our position?
It appears to be a complete annihilation. We have a report they executed the few prisoners they took.
The women, too?
There were nurses and some administrative personnel there, so, yes, women, too.
Addressing the nation and the world from inside the diner, President Emerson gives the Iraqi leader a stunning ultimatum.
Unless your leader, Uday Hussein, immediately withdraws from his position in Kuwait, leaving all weapons behind where they are, and turns himself in for arrest at the American Embassy in Kuwait, I will authorize the dropping of a multi-megaton nuclear device on the city of Baghdad. I'm now giving you, the citizens of Baghdad, 1 hour and 20 minutes to leave the city, save your lives and those of your children. It is my deepest and most heartfelt wish and prayer. Uday Hussein accept his responsibility as the sovereign of a nation and a responsible member of the international community. That is it for now. God save us all.
Shocking everyone, including the staff and patrons inside the diner, President Emerson communicates with the military about possible scenarios.
Okay. Before we carry out the should we or shouldn't we debate, let's ensure what we in fact can do. General Riley, what do we have?
Well, Mr. President, at STRATCOM under START 2, our missiles are now set on a trajectory that ends in the Atlantic.
What brilliant commander-in-chief came up with that one?
Okay, how long to reset the target?
Our record's 20 minutes. It used to be shorter, but we de-alerted 5 years ago.
What do we have in our arsenal?
We have several triple warhead Excalibur 3 nuclear missiles.
Sir, I'd say our only option is to actually drop a bomb on Baghdad. We could use our B-2s based in Saudi.
The president is contacted by Iraq's United Nations envoy, and the conversation between the ambassador and President Emerson is translated by Secret Service agent Dexter, played by Ryan Cotrona.
I'd request of you a taking back of your comment.
Mr. Thompson, sir,
Give us 1 second, please. What is it?
Forgive me, Mr. President, but this man isn't translating correctly for you, sir.
What do you mean?
Well, it's a lot of things. I mean, they're small things, but they could add up to something big, you know. I mean, well, look, he said, I request of you, when what I heard this Omari really say is, I demand of you. And he's got a tone in his voice, sir. It's just a lot of high.
So you speak Arabic?
Yes, sir. I'm U.S. Army retired MI. I was a decryptor in Desert Storm, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
All right. Well, then, welcome aboard. You're our translator now. What's your name?
I'm Special Agent Dexter, sir. I'm in charge of domestic traveling details.
Shit, I should know that. I'm sorry. Please, sit down.
Excuse me, Special Agent. I just want you to know, sir, that this is not prudent.
Right.
There's a special training that goes along with this line of work.
Naturally, there isn't time for that.
I just want you to know
And
that,
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, listen carefully, speak carefully, obviously, and do your best.
I will, sir.
Okay.
The call becomes more and more heated, with the Iraqi emissary soon throwing in some personal thoughts about the president.
I will not negotiate with a Jew. It is my defined duty and obligation and instructions not to negotiate with a Jew.
Here we go. This is why I told you this was not a good idea.
Soon after, the Iraqi ambassador publicly states that Hussein will fire Iraq's black market nuclear weapons at many locations within the United States and other NATO allied countries. This includes a NATO command center in Colorado, not far from where the diner is located. With the crisis continuing to escalate, Emerson and his team are confronted with the opinions of the civilians within the diner. Harvey, Katie, and the Woodses oppose using nuclear weapons, while Ralph tells Emerson that he will have the vote of every real American if he carries out his threat in defense of U.S. forces.
Thank you. I pay my taxes, you know?
Yes, I heard that.
Look, I just wanted to say that speaking for the common man, we're with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, let's crispy critter them motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Teach that little prick a lesson he and his daddy never learned, you know what I mean? You drop that bomb, you got my vote and the vote of every real American. And as far as their nukes goes, they're so Stone Age backwards, they probably never even seen a button, let alone know how to push one.
Tensions continue to boil over as Taylor and Lizzie fear for their life and the life of their children. President Emerson tries to reassure them that everything is going to be okay.
Are you going to shoot me now? Mr. Bush, you're going to have to calm down right now.
Man, 10 minutes before we all die, are you going to kill me?
You're gonna have to calm down.
Makes a lot of fucking
We're all
sense.
going to be fine. Now, you just
Give me the...
Come on.
I don't understand stress at a time like this. Please, Taylor, please.
Please, down, Mr. Woods. Let the man stand, please. I appreciate what we all have to do here. If you have something you need to say, please, let's hear it. Let's hear it now. What is it?
You have no right.
Regretfully, I am the only one that does have this right.
No, you have no moral right. You were never elected. You can't even make the shallow argument you have a mandate of the people. You made a choice that your ego will not allow you to back off
Taylor.
from. If you
Taylor.
bomb Baghdad, we're all next.
I understand you're afraid. Everyone's afraid. The whole world is afraid. I'm asking you to believe me that it's gonna be okay. Not because I am telling you to, but because it's the truth.
His entourage is against the nuclear strike, with Thompson telling his old friend that what he's about to do will change history forever.
Garden of Eden was in Iraq. Did you know that?
Tell us about this concept of the fatwa.
Yeah.
Well, this can only be ordered by a religious leader, but basically...
The Garden of Eden was in Iraq.
Ironic if you look at the level of atrocities committed by his son and his father against the
Well,
but if you look at the Iraqi Arabs and...
did you ever read the test results of Los Alamos in 45? It was a motherfucker of a fireball. It rose to 10,000 feet before it dimmed. People could see it 180 miles away. Shattered glass 100 miles away. It created a crater that was 1,000 feet in diameter. And there was this this steel tower that was about 10 stories high. It weighed 220 tons. Well, it was knocked right off its foundation. And then, just evaporated. Just like that. Now, what you are going to do in Baghdad, it's going to make those tests look like mosquito bites. There's going to be nothing left. No rebuilding, no aid, nothing. Just cockroaches. You will be wiping out a civilization where civilization began.
Rod Lurie came up with the idea for this movie after spending a lot of time watching CNN at home while writing a few other scripts. He came up with a good basis for a film about how multiple same-time international crises could lead to impossible choices for an American president. The film was originally developed as a made-for-television movie to air on Showtime. In the movie, the combination to unlock the nuclear suitcase is 080-61945. August 6, 1945. That's the date the United States dropped the nuclear bomb on Hiroshima, Japan. During the 2008 primary results on the television, you can see that President Emerson's opponent in the election is named Trump. In real life, years after this movie, Donald Trump would go on to serve as President of the United States throughout the 2010s and the 2020s. This movie was first released in Canada at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 10, 1999. It was released into theaters in the United States on March 10, 2000. On a budget of $800,000, the movie would only gross a little over $145,000, making it a box office disappointment. I remember my father and I rented this from the video store around 2003, and we enjoyed it. What was so ironic was that at the time, 2008 was in the future, and the real invasion of Iraq was a current event. In that regard, the film is dated. 2008 is over. Uday and Qusay Hussein were killed simultaneously on July 22, 2003 in an airstrike. So while the movie is dated, it is, if anything, realistic with regards to American strikes against Iraq and the Husseins. Not to mention that it shows a Trump running for president, which ended up happening in the future as well. I like this movie and I watch it from time to time. If you are looking for a good political thriller, not too long and pretty entertaining, I recommend Deterrence.